Let's start by creating a form to let the user submit a to-do item from the front end. Go inside the templates directory, and here let's create a new template todo.html. We have added the basic markup, and now inside the body, let's create the form. Our form is ready. It contains two inputs. The first one is to enter the task value, and the next one is the submit button. Now let's save this and get back to our app.py. Here we are going to change the index method, and now our route will support two different methods, get and post. Now let's add the condition. If the request method is equals to post, then we are going to fetch the data from the form and create a new task or to do. So here we have created a new to-do instance by passing constructor values to the to-dos class, and here inside we have passed only one value, and that is the task. For the other two fields, the status is going to be false by default, and the to-do ID, this is primary key, so that will have the auto increment value. Now once the data is available for us, the next thing that we are going to do is store it into the DB. And we can do that by using two methods. So here we are using db.session.add, and we have passed the to-do. So our DB has something called session, and this session is totally different from the session of Flask. This session maintains all the database related transactional values. And here the first thing we are doing is we are creating a new record, and when we execute the commit method, it's going to be saved permanently. So this is the two method which we can use to store a value persistently into the DB. Now let's move to the else part. In the else part, we are simply going to render the template to display the form. Our index method is ready except one thing. Inside the if statement block, you can see we are saving the data into the DB, and after that we are returning nothing. So we either need to return something or we have to redirect to some other page. And here in our case, we are going to do two things. The first thing is we are going to create a flash message, and the next thing is we are going to redirect the user to the exact same page. So that way it will fall into the else part and the template will be shown. So now what we can do here is we are going to use the flash method. a flash message is basically the part of session, and this kind of notification is available till the next refresh. Let me show you with an example how it works. So the first thing that we need to do is import flash from Flask, and we can use it like a method. Inside this we have to pass a string, and now we can return redirect. So that's it for the index method. Now we need to go inside the todo.html, and here we need to change this into this. And here we will also display the flash message that we are getting from the app.py file. And we can do that by using the following syntax. So here what we are doing is we are creating a variable called messages, and that is going to get all the flash messages right now available and store it into this variable. And inside this we are checking if there are any messages available, and if there are any messages available we are going to loop through all the messages and display here. Let's save this and get back to the browser and see whether it's working or not. Here you can see we are getting the form. Now let's try to submit something. Here it is showing to do added. This to do added is a flash message, and here you can see it's inside the paragraph. And now if we do a page refresh, that is vanished. So this is the lifetime of a flash message, except a session is basically available till we close the tab or the browser. However, for the flash message, it will be available till the next page refresh. So now let's get back to our editor and figure out how we can display all the to-dos available in the DB and render it in our template. So let's go inside the else part, and here let's fetch all the to-dos. Here we are executing todos.query.all. This method is basically going to get all the to-dos available in the DB and return. And then we are going to pass it into our template. Let's save this and open the todo.html. And here let's create a list. Here to-do is basically an object, and we need to render one thing inside the list item. So let's render the task for a particular to-do. Now let's save this and get back to the app.py, here you need to fix one thing, and that is never use the small case first letter for a class name, because you can see it's showing an error, and the error is we can't use to-dos here and here as well. So always make sure to change your class name with an uppercase first letter like to-dos or to-do. For now, let it be what it is, and here let's change this into tasks. And you can see once I change the name, the error is removed from here. Now let's save this and get back to the browser. So we are getting the to-dos available in the DB. Let's try to add something new. And here we are getting the flash message, and this one is added here. So this is the way to use the flask-sqlalchemy extension, and we can store items as well as retrieve item from the DB.